Hey everybody, I'm Encanti. Today I'm going to show you about the Hothand. It's a accelerometer wireless MIDI controller made by Source Audio. It works a lot like the Nintendo Wii controller, except unlike that controller, you don't have to hold it in your hand. You're completely hands-free, and it just fits on one of your fingers here, this little glowing ring, and it allows you to move knobs and triggers and do pretty much anything you want with any synthesizer. Today I'm going to be using it with a computer. I'm going to be using Ableton Live and showing you how I integrate it with my DJ sets. The Hothand works a lot like a guitar pedal in that you just press a button and it activates. It's off right now. As soon as I turn it on, this axis, when I roll my hand like this, will control the depth or the wetness and dryness of my beat repeat effect, and then this axis right here will control how much of the glitching beat repeating effect that you actually hear. So let me turn it on here. So as you can see, once I got my hand kind of moved over here, I can wave it around and not get any effect, and then very quickly switch over. Everything moves in rhythm with what you do, so you can really get into kind of dancing and moving with the music, and you can expect to hear immediate responsiveness from this thing. So I like to use it with the knob box. Over here I have a Korg Nano, and here I can trigger other effects to happen at the same time and get filters there and reverbs, and you can make for quite an epic build-up section using this is on one of your effects, and then snap into the drop right there. So we're going to try that out a little more on this track. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use the ring along with the activate button to go crazy and be real expressive in the air, and then hit the activate button and have all the values that your ring is controlling, all the knobs move back to a specified value. On this box you'll be able to access a whole different bank of continuous controllers. If you go past the off mode, here we are 0 through 127 going up through all the continuous controllers, but if you go down past 0, past off, you'll actually find an A bank of 20 additional continuous controllers. Inside this bank, the activate button changes, so when you turn it off, it actually sends continuous controller data after you would deactivated the ring to slide all the values back to a specified value. So I'm going to be using that with this loop right here. I'm going to turn this bad boy on. As you can see, I have a very wide range of directions I can take the sound very rhythmically. And then once I hit the activate switch, I got nothing to worry about because it goes back to exactly to where it was before I activated it. This is really useful because a lot of times all the values will be at some position that your hand will want to be in once you get done changing them. But this way I can end over here, I can end right here, and it doesn't matter because as soon as I hit the switch again, all the values will envelope back to a specified location. Right now they're coming back to 0. And the sound can get pretty varied this way. I'm sliding 5 knobs at once with these 2 axes on this ring. And if I want to bring all the values back to where it started, in the A bank on the Hothand controller, I just hit the activate button and it slides all my values back to 0, bringing the sound back to a nice, clean, neutral spot where it started. Crossfading can be done very easily. It's very visual. You imagine the 2 turntables in front of you, one's on the left, one's on the right, and your hand can literally pan between the two. I'm gonna cue two songs that are kind of have similar characteristics and have full freedom over the volume of each one compared to the other one. This can be done in Ableton using the A-B crossfader below the master fader. You gotta be quick to catch it. And of course, right in the middle, mixes the two tracks together. Next thing I'm going to show you is called triggering. Triggering is a light that's located next to the axis indicators. What triggering allows you to do is set a threshold on the ring. Once your hand passes that threshold, it'll send a continuous control envelope to any channel that you specify. So what I'm going to do is play back this bass line I got going here. Right now it's got a filter on it that's turned almost all the way down, and as soon as I flap my hand, it'll automatically open up and then close back down as soon as I flick it again. So it's a very quick hand motion that can allow me to make the sound move very smoothly. I can move it back down, move it back up, and time it very rhythmically. Now I'm about to show you my favorite way to use a Hothand, and that's to tweak a dubstep bass line. As you can see, it responds instantly. So I can get as rhythmic and as expressive as I truly want to be. I can do these behind the beat rhythms that you hear in dubstep. I can do double time if I feel like it, and people see this and they can recognize the correlation between what they're hearing and what they're seeing instantly. And right now I have the tilt of my hand set to control how much reverb is on my drum, so I can do some pretty cool transitions when I move my hand over here. Hear the snare fade off into the background, and then come back in when it's dry, more like this. I get reverb, and you don't. It's one of my favorite things to do. The Source Audio Hothand is just amazing in my studio. It's great on stage. People see it and they see this light floating around in the air, and they can hear what's happening. It's amazing. Better yet, it just, it slides onto your finger. You don't have to worry about hanging on to something. It integrates perfectly with what you're already using, and there's no soldering or any hacking involved. It's just you plug it into what you're already using and go. I definitely give it the thumbs up, and I'm sure you will too.